You're playing a game where the rules were written before you were born. The finish line moves every time you get close. And 3 weeks ago, I watched someone I care about prove exactly how this trap works. My cousin just turned down a $120,000 job offer, not because the job was bad, not because the company was sketchy. He turned it down because it would mean moving cities, leaving his comfort zone, disrupting his routine. He's 28, single, no responsibilities, renting a one-bedroom apartment he complains about every single Sunday. The opportunity was sitting there, and fear made him say no. Today, he's still at his old job, making $65,000, still complaining, still waiting for success to knock on his door and politely ask permission to enter. And here's the brutal truth. He's not unlucky. He's not lazy. He's just normal. He's part of the 99%. And if you're honest with yourself, you might recognize some of his patterns in your own mirror. My name is Nathan, and I spend an uncomfortable amount of time studying money, behavioral economics, and why some people build empires while most people build excuses. And here's what I've learned. Being broke isn't a math problem. It's a wiring problem. The system didn't fail you. The system is doing exactly what it was designed to do, keep you running on a treadmill that goes nowhere while telling you it's a path to success. Today, I'm going to show you the 10 invisible walls that keep 99% of people trapped in financial mediocrity, not to depress you, not to make you feel bad, but to hand you the blueprint to break out. Because once you see the cage, you can escape it. But first, you have to admit you're in one. Let's break this down. Wall 1. They confuse motion with progress. The first wall is the most deceptive. Most people have convinced themselves that working hard equals getting ahead. It doesn't, not even close. I know a guy who works 70 hours a week, 2 jobs, weekends included, barely sees his kids. He's exhausted, burnt out. And you know what? He's been doing this for 8 years and he's still broke. Not because he's lazy, because he's trading time for money in a game where time runs out. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Rich people don't work harder than you. They work differently. They build systems. They own assets. They make money while they sleep. You're probably still running the hustle harder script. That's the trap. Being busy feels productive. It feels virtuous. It feels like you're doing something. But motion is not the same as progress. You can be busy your whole life and die broke. Happens every single day. Let me show you the math. Person A works 60 hours a week at a job, makes $80,000 a year. Person B works 40 hours a week, but spends 10 of those hours building systems that generate passive income. 5 years later, person A is still making $85,000 working 60 hours. Person B is making $150,000 working 30 hours because the systems run without them. Same starting point, different wiring, different outcome. The 99% are addicted to the feeling of being busy. The 1% are obsessed with being effective, and that's why one group stays stuck while the other break free. Wall 2. They choose guaranteed mediocrity over uncertain greatness. Here's the second wall, and it's a psychological prison. Most people are so terrified of losing what little they have that they never take the risks necessary to gain what they want. They choose guaranteed mediocrity over uncertain greatness because the fear of loss is stronger than the desire to win. I see this everywhere. People stuck in jobs they hate because at least it's stable. People keeping money in savings accounts earning 0.3% because at least I can see it. People avoiding investments because what if I lose it all? But here's what they don't realize. Not taking risk is the biggest risk of all. Inflation is eating your savings at 3 to 4% a year. Automation is coming for your stable job. The safe path you think you're on is a slow motion disaster. You just can't see it yet because the decline is gradual. In 2026, I watched people refuse to invest when the market dipped. Too risky, they said. I'll wait until things calm down. You know what happened? The market recovered. The people who bought during the fear made 35, 40, some made 60% returns. The people who played it safe, they made nothing. They waited for certainty that never came. And the cruelest part, playing safe feels responsible. Your brain rewards you for avoiding risk because thousands of years ago, risk meant getting eaten by a predator. But we're not running from predators anymore. We're running from opportunities disguised as uncertainty. Rich people understand something fundamental. Calculated risk isn't gambling. It's the price of admission to a different life. You don't get rich by playing safe. You get comfortable. And comfortable is where dreams go to die. Wall 4. They spend money to look rich instead of to become rich. Wall 3 is painful because it's so visible and so denied. Most people spend money to signal wealth instead of spending money to build it. I'm talking about the $60,000 car on a $50,000 salary, the designer clothes bought on credit, the expensive vacation posted on Instagram to prove you're winning. It's all performance, and the audience doesn't even care. Here's what's crazy. Actual rich people don't look rich. Go to any truly wealthy neighborhood, and you'll see 12-year-old Hondas in the driveway. Why? Because real wealthy people understand that a car is a depreciating liability, not a status symbol. They'd rather put that money into assets that grow. But the 99%, they're playing a different game. They're trying to signal success before they've achieved it, and that signal costs them their actual success. Watch this math. You finance a $50,000 car. Monthly payment, $750. Insurance, gas, maintenance, another $400. That's $1,150 a month. Over 5 years, that's $69,000. Now imagine you took that same $1,150 and invested it in an index fund averaging 8% annually. After 5 years, you'd have $85,000. After 10 years, $210,000. Same money, different choice, completely different financial futures. The bottom line is that most people can't make that choice because driving the nice car feels good now. The Instagram post feels good now. The dopamine hit is immediate. Building wealth is slow, invisible, boring. And humans are wired for instant gratification. The 1% delay gratification like it's a religion. The 99% finance it and call it success. Wall 4. They treat income as a ceiling, not a foundation. Here's a massive one. Most people get a salary and think this is how much I make. They build their entire financial life around that number. And when they want more money, they wait. Wait for a raise, wait for a promotion, wait for someone else to decide their worth. Rich people don't think like that. They see their salary as a baseline, not a limit. They ask, what else can I create? What problem can I solve that people will pay me for? How can I decouple my income from my hours? I know a teacher making $52,000 a year. She could complain about education funding. Instead, she started tutoring online on weekends. Then she packaged her lesson plans into a course. Now she makes an extra $38,000 a year on top of her teaching salary. Her mindset shifted from I make $52,000 to I make $52,000 plus whatever value I choose to create. The difference is massive. One mindset is passive, waiting for permission. The other is active, creating value. And here's what's insane. Most people already have skills they could monetize today. Writing, design, consulting, teaching, organizing, fixing things. Skills people would pay for right now. But they never even try because they've accepted their salary as their financial identity. The 99% have one income stream and pray it never dries up. The 1% have multiple streams, and when one stops flowing, they don't panic, they adjust. The 99%, they drown. Wall 7. They take financial advice from broke people. This one sounds harsh, but it's devastatingly true. Most people take financial advice from people who are just as broke as they are. Your parents mean well. Your friends mean well, but if they're not rich, why are you taking wealth advice from them? It's like asking someone who's never left their hometown how to travel the world. How many times have you heard, "My dad said debt is always bad. My friend said investing is gambling. My uncle said just get a stable job and climb the ladder." And you know what all those people have in common? They're all broke. But we listen to them because they're familiar, because they love us, because rejecting their advice feels like rejecting them. So we stay stuck in the same patterns that kept them stuck for their entire lives. Meanwhile, the 1% seek advice from people who've actually built what they want. They read books by people who've created wealth. They find mentors who've walked the path. They don't ask their broke coworker for investment tips. Here's the filter you need. Only take financial advice from people who have the results you want. If you want freedom, don't ask your friend drowning in credit card debt. Ask someone who's actually free. And if you don't know anyone like that, find them.